us, but it's okay. It's going to work. It'll work. Okay. So we're going to see how that works. We're going to see how that works. All right. Coolness. We are live, y'all. So we are live and cold. You're cold, coolest dad. I talked to my son there in Tucson, and he was saying, I think it was yesterday morning. I can't remember what temperature he was saying it was, but he said it's a little chilly. It is a little chilly. Just a little chilly. I need to drink some coffee right quick. So we're going to let a few people join, get a few people join. I do have my YT up and running, y'all, if y'all want to go join on YT. But we're going to let a few people join here, and we're going to have some fun. What is breakout session? What is a breakout session? What is that? Breakout stars. They have all these things going for Christmas, y'all. All these things going for Christmas. So doom. I don't know what that is. We're going to leave it alone. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for the heart me. Thank you for the heart me. Yay, we got people over on YT. We got people. Good morning, Miss Anna. Good morning. Quilt making, share your cold weather plans. Quilt making. Good morning. Good morning. It is Thursday. Y'all, so I'm excited. I'm going to share. So tomorrow and Saturday, I am taking a class on Anita Good Design. The gentleman that created Anita Good Design gives classes. So I'm going to be taking a 2-day artful embroidery class with him. So I'm excited. Headed to the school bus. You be careful, Miss Kelly. Good morning, Miss Amy. You were on early this morning. I'm letting a few people join this morning. And once we get a few people joined, we will go ahead and start. Because we got one more row to go. One more. Yeah, I know, right, Kelly? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm excited. I'll see if I can do, I'm hoping maybe I can do a couple videos while I'm in class because it's a 9 to 5. You're available today. Awesome, Amy. Awesome. We have one more row to embroider. I've already got it loaded. Thank you. I've already got it loaded and ready. So we'll just start stitching on that here in a minute. I wanted to let a few people join. Hawaii. Are you in Hawaii? Welcome. Good morning. Thank you, Irie. Thank you. We got a few people over on YT. We're up to about 7 people on YT. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining. And y'all, big shout out to all y'all. The workbook they give you at the classes and the designs from Anita's are worth it. Oh, you've taken them, Marnie. I'm excited. I will definitely share on Monday. And also, y'all, anybody that's on here Sunday. So I have another quilt that I'm making. Let me show y'all. That I got to get done by Tuesday. I have to get it done by Tuesday. So Sunday, I'm probably going to be live quite a while on Sunday. So if you're not doing anything Sunday, come hang out with me because I am going to be doing a quilt. I'm going to be doing this quilt. So with the fun cows and black and white. So it's a black and white theme. So it's got the cows and the black and white strips. So if you want to come and hang out on Sunday, we're going to see if we can do the whole process in one day. I know I'm asking myself a lot, but we're going to see what happens. So because it's not the warmest outside. So we're going to see. We are going to see. Hopefully. I have taken a 3 keep you very busy all day making projects. Yeah, I'm busy making projects. Thanks for the heart, boss. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Kitties. We got kitties. We have kitties. You are awesome. You the Highland cow, right, Lisa? The Highland cows are gorgeous. I am excited. I'm gonna try in one day, Miss Amy. I'm asking a lot of myself. So I have a feeling I think I'm gonna go ahead and get up at 1:30 anyways, because I try to sleep in on the weekends, but Sunday I think I'm gonna go ahead and get up at 1:30 and start a stitching. So he had asked me if I could do it online. So I just finished a bunch of snack mats for Christmas. How cool is that, Heidi? How cool is that? That is awesome. Very cool. That is cool. Cool, cool. Saw one last year in Scotland. Amazing. Oh, wow. I have never seen one in person. That would have been awesome. And Scotland. Oh my gosh. How cool is that? Scotland, Scotland. Somebody over here on YT has gone to Scotland and seen one of the Highland cows. Y'all, have y'all seen the Highland cows? I've never seen a Highland cow. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to move y'all over here. We're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I already have it loaded. In here. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the stitching. And I've already, like I said, I already have it ready and in place. So we're going to go ahead and get stitching. That way we can get going. So we only have one more row. We have one more row to go here. Once we get all that stitched, we will, good morning, Jennifer. How are you? Good morning, good morning. Once we get this row, because we have this row, went to a wedding in Castle. Oh my gosh, how cool is that, Lisa? That is cool. That's exciting, exciting. That is very exciting. So like I said, we have this row to do. So once we get done with this row, we still have a row down the top because there was a section at the top that wasn't long enough to do the whole row there. So what I've done is we're going to take and we're going to turn this quilt sideways. Once we get done with this row, we'll turn this quilt sideways and then we'll quilt down the top. So I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be cool, y'all. So I am excited, excited. So I'll be glad when we get done quilting this one because y'all, as I'm quilting it, I can't have my heater on. My heater is down below the quilt, so I got to turn the heater off. So I'm like, a little chilly, but that's okay. We'll get it done. And once we get it done, I can turn that heater back on as we're binding. Because what we're going to do is once we get done with this, once we get done with the quilting, we will go and we will trim it all up and do the binding. So we will get the binding all done. Get that binding done, y'all. How's everybody's morning going? How is everybody's morning going? Does your fabric printer actually print direct to the fabric, and how well does the ink last in a while? Yes, Lisa, it does actually just print right onto the fabric. It prints right onto that fabric, and as long as you wash your fabric in cool water, don't wash it in hot or warm water, it doesn't pull the fabric off there or the colors off there. So it stays pretty good. I haven't had any issues with it. Knock on wood. So yeah, I really like it. So it's an inkjet. It's just an inkjet printer that prints directly onto the fabric, and it more or less keeps it there. So keeps it there. And I think it's the so if you want to know what paper I use, I can send you a thing on the paper that I use. So don't forget your coffee this morning, y'all. I need to drink coffee. Is that no, ma'am? So, Lisa, I had started making the prints available, and I can't do that. The cost is too much, and I don't like to charge a lot. So my printer is not really one that is made to print for a lot of people. So. The fabric cotton fabric sheets that you use to print with is not cheap. So I would love to say yeah, but that way y'all could have some too. But I'm sorry. So good morning, y'all. Thank y'all for joining. So we have one more row. This is a quilt that we have done so we have literally pieced this quilt all week. So it's better to print a heat transfer iron. I don't know, Lisa. I personally like printing directly on the fabric. So because I find with the heat the DTF transfers, I love the DTF transfers. If you want information on the DTF transfers, this company here in Arizona is like very, very reasonable, and they're awesome. So I can give you the information on that one. But as far as the iron-on, I don't know. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Because I have let me show you these quilts, because I've got 3 quilts that I got to get pieced also. I got a lot of things that I got to get pieced. So, but here, I'm going to show y'all something. I got to show y'all something because I've got 3 quilts. Good morning. And I got 3 more to do too. So I am actually working on Christmas quilts for the grandkids. So this is an actual DTF direct print to fabric is more quilt quality. I think so. Because if you look at this is a DTF. This is a DTF. And y'all, I mean, you can whatever, and it's fine. It's fine. On these also, you want to make sure that you don't throw them in the dryer. So, and use cold water, because you don't want to melt them. They stay just fine. But I think they're gonna. I like the color quality. I like the color quality that you get when you do the DTF transfers. So we have a flash fill, y'all. We have a flash fill. Start that flash fill. But so I have this one that I'm working on. I've got that one that I'm working on. I'll show you the 3 that I have going, and I've got 3 more that I've got to do too. So I have that one. I have a cow one that I'm doing. Thank you guys. Thanks for the gifts, y'all. So I have a cow one that I'm doing, and these are going to be quilts for the grandkids, y'all. Quilts for the grandkids. And they requested them. So, and then I have a Hulk one that I'm doing. Good morning, Miss Amy. Good morning. So, was planning a memorial quilt and want to do it right. Oh, awesome, Lisa. So if you're doing one of those, so there's so many different things that you could do. So I did, I did my mom's, but I did a t-shirt, and then I did a picture of her and I in the middle of it. There's a trick. You want me to tell you the trick that you can do, Miss Lisa? So if you go to, hold on, let me get this moved, and as I move it, I'll tell you. So you can go to online, go to Wally World or the W Greens, and they have photo printing. They have photo printing on there. And one of the things that they have is your pillowcases. You're able to print photos onto those pillowcases. That's a trick. So not that much. And you load your photos in there. You order the pillowcases. You cut up the pillowcases. You've got them printed on fabric, and it's actually a good deal. And you get them fairly quickly. So that's a trick that you can do. So it works out really well. I've done that a few times. So before I actually got the fabric printer, right? It works really good, and you get it. Like I said, if you look on there, the pillowcases, because you can get quite a few photos on those pillowcases, and then you cut it up, add your fabric around those, and then it makes it, and then you have a quilt, and it's printed on the fabric for you. So just an idea. For the tricks you learn, the tricks that you learn, right, Amy? I'm telling you, it's the tricks that you learn when you're trying to make these things. So that's what I have done, is gone on there, and because I've done a couple of memorial quilts back in the day, and I'm like, well, how in the heck am I going to get these things printed on there? And I tried the iron-on. I don't like the iron-on because they just don't last. They don't last, and when you wash them, they like crumple up. Thanks for the gingerbread. Oh my gosh, thank you, Irie. So the plans are off in my brain now. So glad I stopped. Awesome. Glad you stopped by, Miss Lisa. Glad you stopped by. I'm on Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning. So always welcome to come join. We always are all on here having fun, drinking coffee, doing something. So please hang out, and very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Okay, so I've got the projector on. I've got it lined up. We are loading it in here, making sure And I had to change the size of that design a little bit, so I want to make sure that we're good on here. There was one spot on the back that kind of messed up a little bit, but yeah, as I say, my quilts are not perfect. I'll tell you right away that my quilts are not perfect, but they're homemade and they're made with love, and I love them. So just saying. Just saying. Go a little bit that way. Doom, doom. Okay, and then we come back this way. Okay. So think we're good. We're say okay. Say okay. I say that, and it's like I think I told y'all yesterday, I was having my granddaughter, she was 3 at the time, helping me with embroidery. And I'm like, say okay. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, no, actually push okay. So fun times, fun times. And y'all can't see what I'm doing. I apologize. Oh my gosh. Yell at me. Oh, I forgot to unmirror you guys. Unmirror you guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So, right? Yeah, it was kind of fun. Kind of fun. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and stitch. Go ahead and stitch. So it does, as you can see, part of it is not in the hoop. So you kind of, when it does this last section, you got to kind of watch the last section. You want to make sure that it doesn't actually go off the fabric and then bunch back up that way either. So. You don't want it bunching. You don't want it bunching. You're gonna put you on. Thank y'all for joining. I said we'll get these done. We have a couple more, so we have this hooping, one more hooping, and then we're gonna turn it sideways, and we got a few hoopings that way, and then, like I said, we'll get it all trimmed up. Once we get it all trimmed up, we'll come back and we will do the binding, y'all. We will get the binding going. So I'm putting you on my side so I can see you better on the television. Hi, I'm on the television. Hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. I like to be on the television. You got me on the big screen, Miss Amy. You're funny. Funny, funny, funny. And I have to say, so I kind of moved my I moved my sewing machines around, did some rearranging, and I have to say, I did a really good thing because I have this machine sitting on this stand up. It's a dresser, you know, and y'all, it makes it nice because I have down, back, behind. I've got in front. I've got to the side, and the quilt moves around a lot easier than when we had it over there on the other side. Good morning, Miss Mandy. Good morning. So as y'all can see, I think it's a lot easier, and I think it's doing a lot better. So I'm kind of liking the way it's doing now. So good morning, good morning. So we are going. Miss Amy, this is stitching out so pretty. Awesome. I'm glad. So good morning, Miss Cynthia. So which machine is your heaviest in weight? This machine. This machine is probably my heaviest because it's the biggest, but my other one's fairly good too. What are you learning at so artful, and it says artful embroidery. Artful embroidery was what I'm going to be learning at the class. So it looks kind of like a 3D. So I'm kind of excited on that. So I'm doing the artful embroidery, and then on Saturday in the afternoon, they have the master class. So I'm going to take the master class also. So I'm taking both the classes. So I'm kind of excited. I am excited. Fun. Yeah, I think it is it's tomorrow. So I do. I have another class. I can't help myself. I signed up for a couple classes. So tomorrow, tomorrow is the beginning of the class, and like I said, it's Anita Good Design is the gentleman that started that. So I'll take my first class is tomorrow, and then it ends on Saturday at noon, and then the master class is the afternoon. So I'm taking both days of classes for it. So, what is your black and white fabric pack called? For the So I got that on A, Miss Lisa. I got that on A. It is called, hold on. Let me see if I can see. If you search the 2.5 inch, hold on, let me see if I can find it for you. I'll see if I can find it right quick for you. That way I can tell you what it is. June. So this, can you see? You cannot see that, can you? So do me a favor, search, go on A and search for, and put in black and white 2.5 inch fabric strips, and you'll find it. There's a couple options on there, but that's where I got it. So I was gonna try and show it to you, but it didn't show up. So. Bye, Miss Lisa. I'll chat to you later. So we've got one more to hoop this way. And then once we get that one hooped and stitch that one out, then we'll turn sideways. And it looks like probably only 2 hooping sideways, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. So we'll see how that works out. Okay. So take this one off. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the roses. Thank you. Okay. Put you there. Yes. So you just kind of line it up, and that magnet you can play havoc with the magnet. I put a new bobbin in this morning. It wasn't sure if I was going to need one or not, but I put a new one in anyway. So. And remember, anytime you load these, you always want to check the bottom. You always want to check the bottom on there and make sure that your fabric is not bunched on that bottom. Okay. We're going to do stitching. And like I said, we're going to stitch this one out We'll get this one stitched out, and then we're going to turn it size. You can always put the other bobbin back in after. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank y'all for joining. You're very welcome, Marnie. You are very welcome. I'm glad I can help and show y'all how to do these. I'm glad I can help and show y'all how to do these. So that makes my day. It makes my day when I can do that. I have some exciting news. I bought a multi-needle and board. Oh my, okay. All right. We're going to have to turn around because y'all, party multi-needle. Okay. That is so awesome. Exciting. Congratulations. I'm excited for you. That is cool. That is cool. Right? Oh, over here on YT, somebody over here on TT bought a multi-needle machine. Good morning, Rocky Point Rose. Good morning, Donna. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my gosh. You get it next week. I'm excited for you. That is so cool. That is so cool. That is very awesome. Very awesome. I was actually considering going back to one. I don't know. I'm throwing the idea around, but I love my embroidery machines. Right? That is cool. Very cool. Get it next week. Very cool. How exciting. What machines? How many of y'all have embroidery machines? Let me know. How many of y'all actually have embroidery machines? We are actually going to, I don't think it's not next week, but the week after, we are actually going to be, I'm thinking I'm going to do another live on actually quilting without an embroidery machine. Because I want everybody to have the opportunity to be able to quilt. So, and I know some of y'all don't have that embroidery machine. You, Miss Rocky Point. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. You have, someone over here has the Janome 550E. How cool is that? Awesome. Awesome. That is cool. That is cool. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. 15 needle. It's old and quirky, but oh my gosh, Miss Lisa, how cool. Very cool. Do you quilt on there? Do you quilt on there? You have two 770 PEs and a 15 needle. Awesome. With your RV, might be a bit heavy for such a small footprint, right? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So I was throwing it in. You have three, Miss Nancy. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Yes, recently learned how to. Very cool, Miss Lisa. I have been doing some lives on showing how to quilt in the hoops. So I have fun. You have, when you don't have room for that long arm, because I had a long arm. I had a long arm for a long time. And the long arm I loved. So I've quilted, and I think I've done about 5 so far. Awesome. Very cool. That is awesome. Would love to know how quilting is on multi-needle. Yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know. I've quilted, so I don't know. So I'm thinking, because I was watching some videos, because you have your thing here, but I don't know. I got to order a new foot pedal for my other machine. Which one, Miss Cynthia? Maybe if you did a bigger footprint under other machines, it could work. Maybe, I don't know. When is your podcast going to show? On the 10th. I think it's the 10th on the podcast. So yeah. So anybody on here, I actually did a podcast. Somebody asked me to do a podcast. So there is going to be a podcast popping up. So and I think it's on the 10th. I was showing somebody yesterday the podcast thing. So yes, the 10th. So, and it shows at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I believe. So that podcast is going to, on your other SC 625. Very cool. Very, very cool. So we're going to we're stitching this one when honey, oh, got you. Your dog chewed your cord. It happens. It happens, y'all. It totally happens. So I have lots of fun with that. So thank you for the rose. Thanks for the rose. I appreciate it. Thank you. And thanks for all the tapping. The more tapping we do, the more we get out there. Good morning, Miss Alco. Oh my gosh, 4 days in a row. Y'all, we need to give a shout out to Miss Abby. a shout out to Miss Abby. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you this morning, Miss Abby? It was so nice. I actually called her after the live yesterday. So she's my good friend from Colorado. And y'all, she's considering coming and helping with the class when we do the class. So I'm excited. Excited. Good morning, Sharon. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. I can't wait. I can't use a foot pedal on the embroidery. Maybe don't need. I don't use a foot pedal. I don't use a foot pedal, Miss Cynthia. I don't use a foot pedal on any of my machines. Right, Miss Amy? Yeah, I'd be excited if Miss Abby was able to come join and help out on the class. So I can't wait for your class. Thank you. You're very welcome, Miss Amy. You are very welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you, Miss Amy. So good morning, Miss Debbie. I mailed your stuff off yesterday. I actually got your stuff mailed off yesterday, Miss Debbie. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank y'all for joining. So you're very welcome, Miss Debbie. We're going to turn back this way. We're going to turn back this way. So as soon as this one gets done, we're going to actually turn this way because we need to do the top of it. So we've got all of it done, but the top of it. Thanks for the heart, me. Thank you for the heart, me. So we're going to turn it this way. This one will get done right here. And then I'm just going to stitch the top. Hey, Miss Abby, have you quilted on the embroidery machine? Got to change my phone for my charger was unplugged. I've done that. I put the phone on the charger and not realizing that it was unplugged. It happens. It happens, y'all. Okay. So I'm going to turn y'all this way so I can show you how much we have done. I quilt with my embroidery machine all the time, right? It's awesome, right? I am loving it. So, okay. So we have all of this quilted. We have all of this quilted except for that top row. So with the top row, we'll get that one done. I'm still loving the hearts on the back. The hearts on the back is cool. Kind of cool. So, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it sideways. That way we can load this away. And I'm going to turn her this way. Turn it this way here. See, this is why I'm kind of liking this big area. I'm calling it a big area. Y'all, I know it's not a big area, but it's my big area in the fifth wheel. So the toy hauler, you got to use your space as you can. So use your space as you can. So we're going to load this in here. We're going to turn, go that way, go that way. Make sure that that is not bunched under there. It got bunched in the middle, which I'm kind of bummed about, but not a lot I can do about it. Not a lot I can do about it. So we're going to doom and turn in this way. Make sure y'all can see here. Make sure y'all can see here. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my God. I just found a Scottish cheek and tartan black and white jelly roll. Awesome, Miss Lisa. That is so cool. There's so many different ones on there. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Brother Innovate. Oh, nice. Nice, nice. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the follows. Y'all, give me a follow. Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning. Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning, y'all. So come hang out with us. Come hang out with us. Okay, so this is the last row. This is the last row. I need to go up a little bit. Go up a little bit. Up a little bit. So go right there. Where's my magnet? Where is my magnet? And so next week, we're actually going to be on, I think it's Tuesday, we are actually going to go through the process on how to create a template, how to create yourself a template in the hoop. So my machine has a projector. I'm lucky enough to have a machine that has that projector. But any of y'all that don't have a projector, there's a few different ways you can do it. There's actually templates out there that you can get, or we can create templates. So Tuesday, I'm going to show y'all how to create templates in the hoop. Show you how to create those templates in the hoop so you can create your own quilting in the hoop if you have an embroidery machine. And y'all, we're going to do all the way from a 4-inch hoop all the way up to your bigger hoops. So we'll be creating templates on all of those. That way you're able to do that quilting. Y'all. So, because y'all, it turns out gorgeous. When you're doing this. So, turns out gorgeous. So, make sure that you're not stitching on that bottom. Y'all, we're down to the last row. We don't want to mess up on that last row. Check the bottom. We're okay on the bottom. And we're going to start stitching. This is the top row on this one. So this is kind of cool. So you embroidery, quilting, or using hand motion. So I do both. Quilting. So I do the embroidery on here. So I quilt in the hoop, and I also do mirandering. Do you sell? No, Lisa, I don't. So I get my designs from Juju, from Urban Threads, from Kimberbell, from Etsy, all these different places that you can get in. Quilting, quilt making, and machine chat. Share your machine types. AI is talking to me here. So, but yeah, if you, that's where I get all those. This is actually a new one that I had gotten. So good morning. I had to tweak the tension on my brother to keep the back from eyelashing. Oh, sometimes you have to change it a little bit. And sometimes, depending on what you're quilting, so like on these brother machines, you can actually raise up that embroidery foot. That way it's not sitting so far down on your quilt. So if you have like a a thing pops up and it says AI. So what times? I am in Mountain Standard Time. So I'm in Arizona. So right now we're on Mountain Standard Time. When the time changes, I go back to Pacific Time. So it's currently about 5:15 here. So, but I'm on at 4:30 every morning. I am on, Monday through Friday. I'm on Monday through Friday at 4:30. This Sunday, we're going to have a Holy Cow Sunday, y'all. So thanks for the follows. We are going to see if we can actually finish that Highland Cow. We're going to actually go from start to finish on that Highland Cow this weekend. So we're going to see if that's possible. I don't know if it's possible, but we're going to try. I'm going to actually get up at 1:30 in the morning on Sunday, and we're going to see if we can do that. So yeah, no time changes for Arizona. We don't have daylight savings times. I have to say, when I first moved in with my husband back in the day, y'all, 31 years this last month. 31 years of our anniversary last month. But anyways, when I moved in with him to Colorado, he said something that first year. He goes, "We need to change the clocks." I'm like, "Why? Did the battery? I'll show you the Highland Cow." I was like, "Did the battery go dead on the clock or something?" And he's like, "No." He goes, "We got to change it for daylight savings." I'm like, "What the heck is daylight savings time?" I grew up in Arizona. I was like, "I don't know what daylight savings times is." And he goes, "Thank you, Crystal. Thank you." I was like, "I don't know what daylight savings time is." He goes, "Well, you've got to change it. It changes every year, and then you got to change it back." I'm like, "Well, what's the use of doing that?" But anyway, so, right? Isn't it cool? Doing it on the embroidery machine? So Sunday, I'll show you Sunday again. Sunday, y'all. Like I said, I'm gonna start at 1:30 in the morning. I gotta start early, so I gotta start early on that. Thanks for the heart puffs. So Sunday morning, I'm watching this embroidery here. Sunday morning, and y'all, there's so many different cows in here. I printed these cows on my printer. I have a Brother Moda printer. I despise the time change. I wish they'd leave it like air. Right? I'm telling you. So I have these, and then these fun black strips. So it's a mixture of black strips here. So that, right? It's gonna be cool. So Sunday morning, like I said, I'm getting up early, and we're gonna see how much we can finish. My daughter-in-law loves Highlands cows. Oh, nice, Sharon. Very cool. So I'm excited to see. This was a Christmas order. That was a Christmas order, and I gotta have it done by Tuesday. So needless to say, Sunday we're gonna be quilting like crazy, y'all. quilting like crazy. Hopefully, hopefully. Are you going to embroider with a black? Ooh, that's a good idea, Cynthia. That is a phenomenal idea. I have to see if I've got a black variegated, because that would be a cool idea to do black and white. Now I'm going to look while we're talking. We're going to look while I'm talking. I don't know if I have either. If I don't have a black variegated, I will do probably white. I'm assuming probably white, but a black variegated would be awesome. You know what though? I'm going to the quilt. I'm going to the quilt store tomorrow. I can get a black and white variegated. I don't have one. I will tomorrow. Thanks, Cynthia. Are you going live at 1:30 in Sunday? Yes, Sunday morning at 1:30 in the morning. Right around 1:30, because I'll set my alarm to make sure, and I will be able to get on there. So a little color to make it pop would be cool too. Maybe her favorite color. So he's wanting it to match her living room. He's wanting it to match her living room, and I guess her living room is black and white. So okay, over on YT, does everybody not have sound? Because it looks like my mic is working. We have sound on YT. Okay. Maybe Jennifer, maybe do a reboot. Okay. All right. Coolness. You hear me. Everybody hears me. Everybody hears me. I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. So this is fun. So I think we have maybe one more hooping. Maybe one more hooping. We'll look and see. And then once we get this all done, like I said, we'll go and we'll lay it out, and we're going to trim around the edges. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you very much. We'll go and we'll lay it out, and then that way y'all can see it. And then also we will we'll get it all trimmed. Did you check your settings on? I did. So I'm hoping that it stays good there, Miss Cynthia. Somebody had told me to check that. So I appreciate the reminders, y'all. I appreciate the reminders. Appreciate. So, okay. So we're going to say, okay, hit that projector. And like I said, on Tuesday next week, if y'all want to see how you create, if you don't have a machine with a projector, love the projector. If you don't have one with a projector on it, I'm going to be showing y'all how to create those templates, to be able to lay out your fabric on the machine. So come check it out. Y'all. Somebody's truck is running outside. I hear it. You have all those diesel trucks. I live in an RV park, so a lot of times, especially this time of year, we've got a bunch of construction workers and stuff that get up early and head into work. Doom. Make sure this is okay. We may have to figure out, because it looks like I'm going to have a small section, but I think what we can do is hoop it and be able to do that small section there. Okay. We are saying okay. All right. Very cool. Floriana camouflage. Floriana 40 weight is black. Oh, cool. Cynthia, can you screenshot that for me? That way I can, I'll be getting that Floriani. I'll be getting that Floriani tomorrow. Thank you for that, Miss Lisa. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love Floriani. Y'all, if you want the best thread out there, that is the best one to get. Do I have others that I use? Absolutely. I can't believe how big that is, right? Isn't it fun? So I started off, y'all. I started off on a 4x4 hoop. So your 4x4 hoop is just small. So, but you can totally. So thank you, Cynthia. Oh, I kept cutting out. Sorry, Jennifer. What size hoop is the big one? It is 16, I believe. It's huge. 16. Well, actually, it's bigger than that. So it's actually 19. Well, it says 20. The actual hoop is 20 by 13. So the actual quilting area is 18. So 18 probably by 11 is your actual quilting area. So it's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, Miss Debbie, thank you. For embroidery around cotton thread. So I don't know, polyester. I mean, there's so many different. So because if you look at this one, because this is a poly, I think a lot of it is a poly. So Isacord. There's so many different ones that you can use. So this one, the Floriani is I never. Because I think it's a poly. I think the most of the poly is Floriana's poly, I believe. So, which is best? Good morning, everyone. Been watching on the TV. I love Floriani. Oh, awesome! Yeah, Floriani. That's probably the best one out there. That is probably the best one out there. That if you can, it does cost a little bit more, but it's worth the cost. So, yeah, polyester for embroidery, y'all. Polyester for embroidery. So. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Miss Amy, this is going to be gorgeous. I'm excited for your mother. Good morning, Pearl. Good morning. Y'all, we got 21 over on YT. I'm excited. We got a few people on YT this morning. Very cool. Thank you. Trying to grow the community so we can get more knowledge out there. Do you like the Flori over the... I have not tried that one. I have not tried the Madrera. I've only used the Flurry. Miss Abby, have you tried that one? Miss Abby's my quilting buddy. So, good morning, Maddie. Good morning. Need more thumbs up here on the video, please. Yes, please. Y'all, give me more thumbs up over on the YT. Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate that. You like Madeira. Where do you get that, Sean? Do you get that at the quilt store also? It's your backup. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was just asking, Deidre. I was just, your machine likes glide. Okay. And every machine is different. I get it from, okay. I will have to check that out, Sean. Thank you for sharing that. So they're saying, Sean over here is saying they get it from the actual, you get it at the quilt store. So Sean is saying they get it from Madrera. I have an embroidery business. Oh, very cool. That is awesome. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you joining over here. I appreciate that. Okay, very cool. They're saying Fundraiser Habit over here is saying that it's cheaper and bigger online than in sewing stores. So you might have to check it out. So I will definitely check that out. So thank you for the information. I really appreciate it. So good resource there, right? Yeah, absolutely. Y'all, I appreciate all the sharing. And we're all a great community here and helping each other out. So I appreciate it. Good morning, Miss Carrie. Good morning. Good morning. I use Glide on my long arm. Very cool. Very cool. That is awesome. Which long arm do you have? My store only has sewing machines, small spools on no cones. Oh, I got you. You buy a lot from Whack. Somebody was telling me about Whack the other day. Somebody was telling me about those the other day. So there's a few things that I got to check out. So how do you follow people back on YT? Y'all, do you know how to follow people back on YT? I have some people asking, wanting to follow back on the YT. So I have a Handy Quilter Moxie. Oh, very cool. So I had the yeah, Cunique. I had a Cunique 19. So I had a Cunique 19 that I used. So YT. Sorry, not YP, YT. Because I'm on both platforms right now. So I'm on both platforms. Select the name and it should take you to their page. Cynthia, she's saying, or they're saying, select your name and it takes them to your page. They have to hit your subscribe button. Yes, they have to hit the subscribe button, y'all. Okay, last hooping, y'all. We are on the last hooping. I'm excited. I am excited here. Okay, so we have this last square. The last square. How are we going to do this? Because I think what we're going to end up having to do is I'm going to have to stop it when it gets to the bottom because I don't have a smaller one right now. So we are going to hoop it. And this is why I do, this is why I add extra on the end. This is why I add extra on the end. That way it goes down on there. So go up there. So we're going to go here. So what it'll do is it'll hoop in here. And then what I'll do is I'll get it stitched. Once I get it stitched as far down as I want it to stitch, then I'll just stop it. And we'll be done. This is the last hooping, y'all. Last hooping. We're about done. And then I can turn my heater back on too. And then we're going on walkabout, y'all. Y'all ready to go on a walkabout? We're going on walkabout in my camper. Because to lay my quilt out, I lay it out on my bed. I lay my quilt out on my bed there. So, small spaces. You figure out how to do these small spaces, y'all. Figure out how to do small spaces. That one. So you always take, I always take my hand like this and I rub it underneath the hoop. That way you can see if the bottom of it is bunched up or not. So you try to make sure that it doesn't bunch up. Sometimes it bunches up. It happens, y'all. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, because the design is going to come down here and I don't want it to stitch down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch it stitch. And then when it gets to the bottom of where I want it to end, I'm just going to stop it. I'll just stop it. So we're going to start up here. We're gonna I'm gonna have to pay attention to this one, y'all. I'll have to pay attention to this one and see how far we gotta go. And don't put your finger in there. I have done that so many times. It's like, stop! And then you end up stitching your finger. You gotta be careful with that, y'all. Looks better on TT for you. Okay. Either way. Thank you. I appreciate that, Sean. I appreciate that. Yeah, we have literally created this quilt this week. So Monday, Tuesday, we pieced it. We pieced it on Monday and Tuesday, and then got it ready for the quilting. Wednesday, yesterday morning, we started quilting this. And then, of course, this morning, we're finishing the quilting. Once we get finished on this quilting, we'll take it in there and we will start, we'll get it all trimmed up. We'll come back and we'll start binding it. I'm going to show y'all how we bind it. So I'm going to actually take some strips in there when we trim it. That way we can go ahead and get on the, what do you call it? Get the binding pinned or clipped onto there. So I got to remember to do that. So, but I got to pay attention to this one because, like I said, we only want to quilt so far down because once it gets down to there, I'm going to stop this machine. I'm going to stop it, and we're going to get going on that one. So excuse me if I'm not watching your comments right there because I got to watch this fairly closely on this one right there because I'm thinking what it's going to do is it's going to come down to here. I'm hoping, let's see how far you're going to come down. Yay, it's going to come right down there. Okay, so I think we're going to be good on that. So what we're going to do is we'll finish this kind of swirl right here with this heart in it. And when it comes back down here to go to the next one, I'm going to stop it right there and cut it. I will stop it right there because that's pretty much approximately where I have it on the other ones. So pretty much approximately where I have it on those other ones. So I think we're good on that. So you have control of what the embroidery machine does. Y'all, sometimes I can't talk. What the embroidery machine does. I stitched my finger once on my sewing machine. Oh my gosh, yes. Good morning, Off Kilter. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Y'all, Miss Off Kilter is on her journey to 10,000. You and I are on a journey to 10,000, Off Kilter, because I'm on my journey too. So she is actually giving away a quilt once she hits 10,000. I might have to do the same thing. You and I might have to join your journey if you don't mind. Proper grammar here, ma'am. Okay, Miss Cynthia. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so we're fixing to stop. So it's going to come up and then come down, and I'm going to stop it and cut it. Because this is literally the last tubing. It's just a little bit bigger, so we're going to let it come down. I'm going to let it come down and hit that stitch right there. And stop. Yes, I did it. Okay, I'm going to cut that. And y'all, it is officially quilted. So, all right. So we're going to take this off here. Take this off and then dim. Okay. I'm going to turn my heater back on. Heater's back on. Yay, heat. Okay. So y'all ready to go on walkabout? Because we're going to go on walkabout. Because what we're going to do, yes, we're going to take this into the room and we're going to lay it out. Thanks for the heart me. And then we'll get it all trimmed out. I'm going to take my clips. Where's my clips? I think my clips are over there. And then I need to take a pair of, don't tell my husband I'm using his scissors. Don't tell him. He's like, quit using my scissors. I'm like, it's okay. So I'm going to take that and we're going to take some strips. I'm almost thinking I might have to, we may have to sew 2 strips together because we're going to use the strips around. So the same strips that we sewed around the quilt squares, we're going to put that as the binding. We're going to do that as the binding. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back y'all up. I'm going to turn you here a little bit because, like I said, we're going to go on walkabout. So let me take this stuff in there right quick. Hold on. Be right back. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. I'm going to take this in there and then I'm going to carry y'all in there. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take my box of strips. And then we're going to walkabout. All right, y'all ready for walkabout? Here we go, guys. We're going on walkabout. Oh, and we have hold on, we got a puzzle right quick. Let me get my puzzle. Okay. Here we go. We're going on walkabout. All right, here we go. Okay, so we're going on walk. So, y'all, sew in space is my toy hauler. So I'm gonna go this way, and y'all gonna see. So this is a quilt. This is actually the last quilt that was on my mom at the hospital when she passed away. So I had to keep that. And then this is the quilt. So this was my therapy, y'all. This was my therapy. So this is a quilt that I made when my mom passed away. This is her shirts. So her and I in the middle of it. in the corner there. So those log cabin squares, I think those are log cabin squares. Anyway, so those are the last quilt squares my mother pieced. So I have that one in one corner, and then on the opposite corner is the same thing. So those are the last quilt squares my mother pieced. So that is the quilt I made. That was my therapy. That was my therapy when my mother passed last year. So can't believe it's already been over a year that she passed away. I miss my mother. I miss my mother. She was literally the last one I had in my family. So what the heck? Okay. I'm turning. So on my heater, for some reason or another, y'all get to see the sewing space here. So, or my house. So, all right. So here we go. Quilt. My husband made this quilt, y'all. My husband made this quilt. So that was, I don't think that was that his first one? I don't think that was his first one. So, but anyways. All right. So we're going to lay this out. Moms are the best. Moms are the best. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. So, okay. So we're going to lay this out. See what this looks like. See what this looks like. I'm excited. This is gorgeous, Miss Amy. This is just, the hearts just made it pop. Hearts just made it pop, y'all. I think what I'm going to do is, because I don't think I can get by you. Let's see. Can I get it? I can't get by you. We're going this way, y'all. We're going this way. Yeah. Okay. Y'all get to see me in action. Sorry, guys. Okay. So go that way. I think this turned out gorgeous, y'all. What do you think? What do you think? Pretty, pretty. Okay. I got to see what comments y'all like. What do you think? Beautiful, beautiful. Now I understand why it's a territorial about his sister. Yeah, you know. Okay, so let me grab, I'm going to move y'all over here. That way I don't have to crawl back over this thing again. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all. So this is how I do the quilt to trim the edges off. So what I do is I take here, I want to see it, make sure you guys can see it. So what I do is I take on here, I'll just take my scissors. Man, that floor is cold. I want my slippers. They're back on the other side. So what I do is I take my scissor, or Derek's scissors, don't tell him. So I take his scissors and then I just trim right on the edge here. I just trim right on the edge. And then what we'll do is I brought in the clips and the strips, because then we'll take and do, sometimes that backing fabric doesn't, it's okay. It is okay. So we'll trim here, and is it the right way or the wrong way? I don't know. It's how I do it, y'all. This is how I do it. So I just trim around the edges. Trim around the edges. Okay. So now we'll turn it this way. They said my small space, y'all. This is how I do my small space. So, and the extra batting that I have on there, on the side, is I use for my mug rugs. I use it for my mug rugs, any of the things that I need in the hoop embroidery. So I always use up my scraps, and sometimes you can put them together too. So what's that? You asking what the color is on the back? It's like a lavender. It's like a lavender color. I think I forget what the color said it was on there, but it turned out really pretty. I'm thinking I like the backing, and it's soft. It is so soft. So once we get this, and I'm going to show y'all the easiest way to do a binding, y'all. I know some of y'all like, I don't want nothing to do with binding. Y'all, once I show you this binding, if you have not seen my binding, you'll be like, oh, I can do binding. I can do binding. that one. And like I said, I keep my scraps. Doom. Thank you, Miss Abby. I can't believe we've done this whole process this week, y'all. The whole process this week. And I'm going to be brave and try and do it in one day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to just stitch my heart away. We're going to see what happens. See what happens here. One more side. So these are lap quilts, y'all. These are lap quilts that we're doing. So they still turn out gorgeous. Gorgeous, y'all. Something to snuggle up with on the couch. Especially, I use them here in Arizona. I mean, it gets cold. And especially this time of year, y'all, you need something to snuggle up with. So. Okay. And y'all, look at all that batting I have to use. All the batting that I have to use. So I'll be using that batting. Okay. So now we have it all trimmed. So now what we're going to do is we'll be adding, what is the size of the sheets? So you can use single, you can use queen. This one is a queen. So your toy hauler doesn't get too cold for machines. No. So I do find, oh, thank you. That is very sweet of you. Thank you very much. No, so I actually we live in this thing, so it works out really well. So yeah, so I do keep them running all the time. So good morning, Miss Nikki. Good morning. So very cool. What brand of sheet? So that one actually I got at JCPenney. Check out JCPenney. That's where I got those. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go here. And I'm thinking I may, so we're going to go, you'll be able to see here. But I think what we're going to do is we are going to grab, I have all of these strips, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to sew some strips together, y'all. So we may end up just going back to the sewing machine and sewing them together and clipping them there. I think we might just do that. Maybe we'll get the ones out of here that I want. Here. So I'm thinking. All cons. That way it just more or less has the exact same thing around as that we created on the inside of the quilt. So we'll need 4 sides. So we'll need a few strips. Get a few of these going, and we'll just head to the sewing machine. We'll just sew the strips together, and then we'll clip it from there. I was gonna do it here, but I forgot that we needed to sew strips together. So we'll just go do it all in one location. There, y'all. Thinking we'll take that blue one too. I'll take that blue one too. I'm just going to mix all these together. Stitch them all together. I think we'll be good. We're going to take the box with us too. We'll take the box with us too. Oh, there's one there. Ooh, we're going to take that one too. We'll take that one too. Okay, so clips. I think what we'll do is I'm going to fold these up like this. Put that there. I'm going to put the box here. Fold this up. Take that there. All right. Y'all ready to go on walkabout again? Here we go. We're going to go on walkabout again. Walkabout. We're going on walkabout. I'll come back for the quilt stuff. Yeah, don't fall down the stairs, Carrie. Don't fall down the stairs. Okay. We're going on walkabout. Keep going. So, and if you want to see, so this is here. Beyonce, don't tell him I showed you. So this is another quilt. Got hooked in the his recliner. So this is another quilt my husband made. Let me turn this light on. Let me just show you. So this is another quilt that my husband made. Check this out, guys. It's not cool. This one sits on his recliner. So this one sits on his recliner. And y'all, check out the quilting on this thing. Check out the quilting on it. Is that not cool? Right? So I get excited over it. He goes, quit showing my quilt. I'm like, I like your quilt though. So I have to show my husband off. He doesn't really quilt anymore. He went back to work. So he had quit working to help take care of my mom and my grandmother. So needless to say, I had him quilting when he was doing that. So is that fireworks? So the fireworks was actually done on my long arm machine I had. So right. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, lots of fun. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Okay, so we're going to come back in here. And I got to get my slippers on. I realize I'm going to come back this way. And I got to plug y'all back in. Because I had forgotten to plug y'all back in last time. That's not it. Okay, I'm plugging it back in and then I'm going to go get the quilt. And then we'll get it going on the binding. Okay, there we go. Okay. I will be right back. You stay right there. Okay. Here's that. I'm taking one drink of coffee, y'all. One drink of coffee. It probably got cold on me, but that's okay. Definitely got cold. I don't like cold coffee. I love my coffee, but I don't like it cold. Okay. So here we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sew. Well, first we got to turn Miss Husky on. We got to turn you on, Miss Husky. And I need to get some thread. Takes a minute for her to boot. I'm thinking we're still going to use that same thread, y'all. So let me grab that thread. And I just did that. I just threw it behind. Hold on, guys. I just threw my thread. See, this is what happens. Sometimes you have mishaps. y'all. Okay, I got it. I had to crawl behind the cabinet. Y'all are probably like, what the hey are you doing, Carrie? What are you doing? And I'm just sitting here rambling, so. I'm just sitting here rambling. Oof. Oof. Okay. And I'm thinking on the back side, I need a light purple for the back side. A light purple, because what I like to do when I do my binding, the way I do my binding, I like to take and do sorry about that. I had dropped my thread behind my cabinet over there, and beans I dropped my thread, I had to go find it. So I apologize. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and use the same thread. You love the Laura Lee design quilt on. Oh, thank you, Pearl. Thank you, Pearl. Yes, is it too bright for you guys? I don't know if I can turn the brightness down on this one. I don't know if I can turn the brightness down on this one. I know I can turn the brightness down on the other one, but I don't know if I can on this one. Anyway, so we're going to use this thread. We're going to use this thread, which is that variegated thread. And then on the bottom of the quilt, because the bottom of the quilt is kind of a purple, I'm going to use purple thread on the bottom. And I can't do that. That's a different daggum machine, you knucklehead. Hold on. I'm going to have to wind a bobbin. Hold on. I just realized that, hey, this machine uses totally different bobbins. So I'm going to show y'all something. So this machine is an actual, it's a Husqvarna. So look at the difference on these bobbins. So let me see if I'm trying to hear. So the bobbins are on this one is a lot bigger. So I need to find, hold on. I need to find a matching. I'm going to put you up there. You up there. Do I have, no. Hold on. Yeah, isn't that the coolest? Right? Yeah, it is kind of cool. Kind of cool. So, no, not too bright. Just saying, okay, cool. All right, Sharon. Hold on. Let me grab purple or a color that's kind of close to that color. Actually, I think that one right there will work. Okay. I found some thread. So we're going to actually take and wind it on the machine. I don't wind on this machine very often, so I have to remember how to wind on this machine. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here, here. And the winder on this machine is on the side. The winder on this machine is on the side here. Thinking it pops that way. Goes that way. Okay. So it actually winds on the side of the machine. So, and I think one bobbin will be enough. I think one bobbin should be enough on that. So while that's winding, we can go ahead and thread the machine though. Go ahead and thread the machine. And it winds quick. It winds quick, y'all. Okay, so bobbins all wound. Bobbins all wound. And remember, when you put your bobbins in, make sure it's going counterclockwise. So if you pull it like this, it's turning counterclockwise. So you want them going in there. Good morning, good morning. You want them going in there counterclockwise. So very cool, very cool. All right, so we're going to take this off here. And we're going to take this white bobbin I have, and we're going to put it down here. We're going to put it down here. We're going to close that up. Close that up, and then I'm going to take the purple. We're going to load the purple in there. Come around this way. around this way, and then you pull it out. Okay, so there's that one, and we're going to get this one all threaded in here. We're going to sew a couple of strips together, and then we're going to clip them. Sew a couple strips together. And then auto thread. You gotta love the auto threader. You gotta love the auto threader. I'm gonna bring my trash can over here. Okay, bring the trash can over here. And on this machine, oh, you're good. You're good. So on this machine, you gotta, it automatically goes to full speed. Okay, full speed is fast on this machine. And y'all, so let me show you something. I'm going to show you something. So say I left her at full speed. Watch what it does. I'm going to show you. So if I hit start, and y'all, I don't use a foot pedal. I just use the start and stop on my machine. So if I hit start, watch this, guys. This thing is going to go. You see how fast that goes? It goes really, really fast. And y'all, it still stitches really good. It still stitches really good on there. So let me put the needle position down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to slow that speed down because I don't want to go full speed. So I'm going to put it at half speed. So we're going to go, see, that's a little better. That's a little better. So we're going to go that speed, not full speed. Yeah, she's very fast. She is very fast. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these strips. We're going to sew a couple strips together. And then, so I'm going to do that one. And I'm going to do the pink one. I like the pink and that one. So we're going to sew these two together. So I think that'll work for one side. We'll sew this together and see if that's enough for one side. We'll start clipping. So I'm just going to do a 1/4 inch seam on this here. And I have my starters and my stoppers here. Okay. So I'm going to go clip that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I think that's enough. I think that's enough for one side. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and do the clips. So I use these clips here. So take the clips, so you go to the back side. You go to the back side of your quilt, y'all. So we're going to go to the back side of this quilt. Let me see if this is long enough. Here. You want to have a full, I'm going to trim that because we got the selvage there. We want to get that trimmed off of there. Trim that off there. So you want to have a fold at the first of it. So you want to, and just a small fold. And I'll show you why you have those folds. Once you get to the second strip, you'll see why you have those folds. We're going to see, are you going to be long enough? It is going to be long enough. Yay. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull you down a little bit, so you can see what I'm doing here. So you see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it like this. So I'm folding it like this. And I'm going to take here and I'm going to clip it. I'm going to just start clipping. And I put the flat surface of the clip to the back, and the curve to the front, because your flat surface is going to glide across your sewing machine. It's going to glide across that sewing machine. So a lot of people hand stitch their bindings. Number one, I've got tennis elbow. I can't hold a needle that long. I cannot hold a needle that long. So needless to say, I machine stitch mine, and I like the way it turns out. Just my personal opinion. I like the way it turns out. So we're going to clip these on here. Get these clipped. So I'll clip one side. We'll go ahead and sew a couple more strips together. Clip the other side. So you do two sides. You do the top and the bottom, the side, two sides, either way. One or the other. You do both of those. Once you get both those sides done, then you move to the other side. Then you'll move to the other side and get those sides done. And I like to use clips. You can use clips. You can use pins or not clip it at all. It's your choice. Your choice on how you do that. So I'm going to flatten that out like this and put a clip on there. Put a clip on there. Put a clip on there. Clipping, clipping, clipping. Clip there. I have to say, what size of clips do you use? So these are the smaller clips. I don't know exactly what the size is, but these are the smaller clips. So, because you have the bigger ones and the smaller ones, but this is the small clips. Because I have these, and then I do have the big ones. I just don't use the big ones very often. I use the big ones every once in a while when I'm holding it in the machine, but okay, so I'm going to trim the selvage off of this one. So then we're going to go here. We'll have to trim a little bit more off here. My stomach is growling. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. Okay, I'm going to keep that for a starter and a stopper. Okay, so I have all that. So what we'll do is we'll sew it straight line, but we're going to go do the other side. Go to the other side. Get two more strips. Here. My clips fell out of my thing in here. Okay, they're right there. I'm like, where's my strips? Okay, so we're going to take that pink one, which is very pretty. I'm going to take this other pink one. So these two together. Thank y'all for hanging out this morning. Thanks for hanging out. So we are at it. So y'all, it's been a fun week. It has been a fun week. So Monday, Tuesday, we pieced. Monday and Tuesday, we pieced. We sandwiched that quilt, got it ready for embroidery or quilting. And then yesterday and this morning, we finished quilting that quilt. So now we're adding that binding, y'all. Now we're adding the binding on here. So let me. And Miss Nikki, I think we're going to do binding this morning. So we'll start a full week of walking next week. How about that? Miss Nikki's my walking buddy. She's my walking buddy. Thank you. It is always fun. We always have fun, right? We always have fun. Okay, so we're going to clip this. And remember, you make sure you fold that edge. Make sure you fold the first one. Make sure you fold that first one. Okay. So then we're going to go along and clip the binding onto the back of here. So we're going to clip it. And that way when you're stitching, you can just stitch right along. Stitch right along there. So stitching. Just keep stitching. And thanks for hanging out. I appreciate y'all. Team. This one clipped. We got to do a day of serger, y'all. We have to do a day of serger. I know we were talking about that, but we got to get something to do on the serger. A few weeks back, we ended up doing microwave bowl koozies on the serger. That was kind of cool. We actually ended up serging all the way around it too. So it was kind of cool. Welcome back, Miss Off Kilter. Welcome back. But I'm thinking we're going to have a serger day. I'm thinking we're just going to have a serger day and see what we can have fun on that serger. See what we can do. I find my stitching. What is it? Can you show how you fold the first edge again? Yeah, Bev, I can. So the first, and we'll do it on the other side too. So the first edge, it's just folded over a little bit and clipped. It's just folded over a little bit and clipped. You swiped out. It happens. It happens. So it happens. So you fold over on this side and just a little bit, just maybe an inch, half inch, however big you want. And then you just need to have, so you don't, and it keeps you from having a raw edge. Just keeps you from having a raw edge on there. So then we'll keep clipping here. We'll keep clipping here. Just keep a clipping. Just keep a clip. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to make a dory quilt. I am going to make a dory quilt, and it's going to be there. You're welcome, Bev. You are very welcome, Miss Bev. So we're going to clip it. And now I didn't measure, but we're good. We're good. We are good. And like I said, I have fun with my quilts. They're not perfect, but they are homemade. That's what makes them special. So we're going to clip that one there. We're going to trim off enough here. Okay, so and you can see, I just trim just enough to put a fold. Just enough to put a fold. Then I have enough for a starter and a stopper there. The starter and the stopper on my machine. The starter and the stopper. So go there and then just a fold. You're just putting a fold right there on the edge. Just a fold on the edge there, y'all. Okay. So I'm going to clip that. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to straight stitch right across. We're going to straight stitch right across. So I'm going to turn it this way. Tone it this way. Y'all, we're using Miss Husky here. We're using Miss Husky here. And I have a starter and a stopper. The starter and a stopper piece of fabric keeps it from bunching. Keeps it from bunching. So there is the quilting on YT. It's there. I'm on there also. I'm on there right now. So we're going to start. I'm going to take that one off. My limited space here, y'all. It kind of bunched up on the side, but it's all right. So I chose the long side as the first sides. The long side is our first side here. And then once we get this stitched, I will show you how we go to that front side and how I stitch. So I use a double blanket stitch on that front. There I use a double blanket stitch on that one. So you just learn to quilt. Awesome. Very cool. Welcome. You got lots of knowledge here. You got lots of knowledge with me and all day everybody on the live. So ask all the questions y'all want. And y'all, there's never a dumb question. There is never a dumb question. So any question you ask, it doesn't matter what it is, please ask away, y'all. Ask away. Okay. Doom. Okay. So turn that one. Then we'll sew the other side right quick, and then we'll clip it. Then we'll clip it to the front. And then y'all will see how that works. See how that works. So we're going to fold it that way. Really liking the color on the back. Really liking the color on the back there, y'all. I used to use pins for this. And y'all, you know how many times I poked myself in the leg because there was pins on the other side? Almost to the end, yeah. Almost to the end. And then I'll show y'all how we clip it to the front. How you clip it to the front makes a difference. Makes a difference there, y'all. And I use the same color. Try to use pretty close to the same color of thread as the fabric on the backing. That way it doesn't really show up. Doesn't really show up there, so. Back a little bit over this. So I'm going to just fold it in that. Okay, there we go. Where my other one went. Don't know where my other one went. We'll start a new one. Start a new one. It's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to show y'all how we do the binding. Okay, so what stitch length do you recommend for this part? Deidre, I leave it as is. So the stitch length is just, it says 0.9. I just leave it default. I just leave this one default on that. So, but as we go to the other one, I'm going to show you, you don't leave your needle down to do the corner and then turn to do the other side. So, I only do, is it Naomi? So I use one side, I do one side, and then I fold it over. You sew the fold. I do sew the fold down. The fold is sewed down. So it is, so as you can see here, the fold is sewed all the way down. So, and this is where you're going to see, how that binding works. So we're going to turn it to the front. We're going to turn it to the front. And this is where it shows up. Here is presses. Amy, you're awesome. You're awesome. So actually I need to show you how we're going to do this side. So on this side, what you do is you take this, you take your binding that you just stitched on there, and you see your seam, you see that seam right here? You're actually going to fold this right to that seam. So you're going to fold it right to that seam. So you're lining this piece of fabric up right to that seam. And then once you line it up to that seam, you're going to take and fold it up. You're going to take and fold it up. And then when you turn it to the front, you're going to see that that piece of the raw edge of your fabric is actually behind what you just stitched. It's actually behind what you just stitched. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold this down right here like this. You're going to fold that down like this, and then you're going to clip it, and then you're going to we'll stitch across that. So again, let me show you again. So you take that piece of fabric here. You take that piece of fabric and you fold it up to the stitch. Fold it up to the stitch there. And then you take and you fold it up that. Yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Exactly. So you fold it up. Once you have it folded up, you have it behind what you've just stitched. And then you fold it down. Then you fold that down and you clip it. Fold it down and you clip it. Okay? So let me get this one clipped. So we'll get both sides clipped. And we'll have a corner. I promise you're going to have a corner on this quilt. I promise you're going to have a corner. Here, let me show you. So like this right here was done the exact same way. And you see how we have a corner? You see how you have that corner on here? You're still going to have a corner. I promise you're still going to have a corner. So we will have that corner. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and fold this. Thank you. I appreciate y'all hanging out. So let me get this one folded. And again, I'm going to go over it one more time before we start. So you take your binding, you fold up to your stitch. You fold up to your stitch that you have, then you fold up, and then you fold down again. So let me get these all clipped. We're going to get these clipped here. I'm going to move y'all back here so you can see a little bit. So I'm going to take and I'm going to fold it up again, and then clip it around. So I'm going to fold it over. This is where clips come in handy, y'all. This is where clips come in handy, is when you're doing this, because you just work your way down. You work your way down. It's easier to show y'all when I'm doing like a mug rug or a pot holder or a placemat, something like that. But you've never seen this technique. This is my technique, y'all. I don't know if it's the right technique, but this is how I do it. That looks a lot more easier than the other way I've been trying to learn. Yes, absolutely. So this is an easy way to do it, y'all. Easy way to do it. And it looks phenomenal. I mean, look at this, y'all. This is how this was done. It looks phenomenal. It completely looks phenomenal. And I always use, and I try to always use the same color of thread as this on the back of your quilt. So whatever your fabric is on the back, I try to use that same color of thread. So I'm going to take and fold it up. And your next trick is that stitch. So the stitch that you use to stitch this down, that's kind of your, if you have, it's a double blanket stitch is what it's called. There is no quilt police here, right, off kilter, right? So everybody has their own way to do it. Miss Off Kilter is a phenomenal quilter too. She is a phenomenal quilter too. And everybody has their own way. Everybody has their own way of doing things. So, but this is the easiest way that I have found to do quilting. The easiest way I've found to do quilting. And somebody is messaging me. Work, hold on. Let me see what work says. Of course, you got to be way over there. So I'm a director of IT by day, y'all. I'm a director of IT by day. So let me, somebody's calling in sick. Okay. It happens. Okay. So we are going to continue, get this all clipped. Once we get this clipped, I'm going to show y'all the stitch. So the stitch I use, if you have a brother, is 3-18. It's a 3-18, and I move it up to a 7mm. It's a different stitch here on the Husky. I can't remember the exact number on the Husky. I need to notate it. I don't think I've done binding on this one for y'all. I don't think I've actually done a binding on this machine for y'all. So this is a new experience. So kind of fun. I think work said you should have the day off, right? I agree. That would be cool. So that would be cool. But it's okay. I have tomorrow off. I'm going to do a sewing class tomorrow. No, it is not a new machine. It's just I had it in a different location, and it really wasn't in a location to do binding. So wasn't in a location to do binding. So, but now it is. And I love the way this machine stitches. I love stitching on this machine. I love piecing, and it just stitches so pretty. My husband surprised me. So I took him to a long arm class in California to teach him how to do long arming. While I was there, he comes in and he goes, "Hey, you got to come see what I got." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm thinking, he got a piece of fabric, something like that. And I come out and he's like, "Here, this is yours." And I'm like, "What?" So it was a floor model. They did a really good price for him on it. And oh my gosh, I love this machine, y'all. And this thing will sew through 16 layers. It will literally sew through 16 layers, y'all. So we're still clipping along this side. Clipping along this side. Once we get this clipped, I will show y'all. So we have this side to clip and then the other side. And then I'll show y'all what stitch we're going to use. And I always increase the width of the stitch just to make sure that it actually grabs both pieces of fabric. That it grabs both pieces of fabric there. So and I'll go over the process again when we go to the other side. I'll go over that process again when we go to the other side. And I noticed some of the other days they're like, "Hey, why do you repeat yourself twice?" I don't know. I just do. To hear myself say it twice, I guess. So I don't know. Pin to comment. What model is it is a 980Q. It is a 980Q. So this one is just a sewing machine. It's the quilting one on here. So get there. Get one more clip here. Get one more clip here. Okay. So we're all clipped. So let's go to the other side, and I'm going to show y'all again how you do this. So you have your binding on the back. You have your binding on the back here. So what you do, you take and you fold your binding up to the stitch line. You're folding it up to that stitch line. Oh, thank you, faithful follower. So you fold up that fabric to the stitch line, then you fold it up like this, and then when you come around to the front side, you're just folding it down, and your raw edge is behind that stitch seam there. So let's go ahead and get this one all clipped, and we have it folded on each end. There is folded on each end there. And on the next side, you're going to see, thank you for the heart me. Thank you for the heart me. On the next side, you're going to actually see how we get that corner, because we're going to have a corner. And somebody the other day said, when we were doing a binding the other day, they're like, "Well, it kind of looks like a picture frame." It does. It kind of looks like that picture frame. It does. It does. So, okay. So you're just going to go down. You're going down here. So folding that fabric up to that seam, folding it up and folding it over and clipping. Folding it over and clipping, y'all. And my strips are 2.5-inch strips, y'all. So I use a 2.5-inch strip on my binding. 2.5-inch strip on the binding. You can use a smaller one. I could have probably used a smaller one on this, but when you have like a high loft batting, you want to be careful. Sometimes you want to actually go up to the 3-inch strip. So you want to be careful on that. You want to make sure that you're able to get around that whole edge on there. So make sure you get around that whole edge. I feel like I'm talking a lot today. Am I talking a lot today? You're like, "Carrie, you're rambling." I've been rambling. I'm a rambling man. Not a rambling man. No, I'm not a rambling man. Rambling. I'm just rambling. I'm thinking of songs. Y'all. Fun. Okay. We're almost clipped. Like I said, once we get this clipped, I'm going to show y'all the stitch we use. And y'all, the stitch is the game changer. The stitch is the game changer on this one. So he said, if you're on a brother, look, good morning from Texas. Good morning, Christy. Where are we all at this morning? I said, I'm in Arizona. It's upper 20s, lower 30s this morning. So it's a little chilly. I I know somebody said it was -8 early. Somebody that, thank you very much for the gift. Thank you so much. You're sweet. Georgia. Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear, Miss Prinny. I am glad to hear, Miss Prinny. Michigan. All right, Miss Carrie, you are in Michigan. Where are we at on YT? Where are we at on YT? So, Northern Texas Panhandle. Very cool. Snow, y'all. Snow. Kansas, and it's 21 degrees. 21 degrees in Kansas, y'all. 21 degrees in Kansas. Alabama. Welcome, Alabama. Welcome, welcome. Long Island, New York, 49. It's warm there. I'm surprised. 10 here. Wow. Texas. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, we got to trim off my starter here. Thank y'all for joining this morning. I appreciate y'all hanging out. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me in the mornings. It makes my mornings. It makes my morning. Like I said, I am a director of IT. I run an IT department, and y'all, this is completely my stress relief. So y'all have become my family in the morning, and I appreciate my family. So it's such a wonderful community out there. All the quilters and sewers and crafters is such a wonderful. Minnesota -14 feels like -29. Y'all, that's cold. That one is cold. Southern California, I'm freezing at 62. Deidre. 34 in North Carolina. Wow, y'all. I'll tell you. I will tell you. It's a little chilly. It's a little chilly. I have to say, I think winter has finally hit, y'all. Winter has finally hit. Texas, we're at 45. Nice. Nice, nice. All right, Deidre, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for the follow, Christy. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, everybody. Thank you, thank you. We're extending the live today because we're going to finish the binding. Sorry, Nikki. We're finishing the binding today. We're going to do a week of walking next week. 26 degrees, Northern Texas Panhandle. Burr. Okay. So I'm going to put one more clip here. Put one more clip. So 39 and 100% rain in Georgia. Y'all. Right? So that is crazy. Okay. So now we are going to, and I think it's over on D. So I'm going to go to 12 on this one. It is kind of like a double blanket switch. It is over on D, and it's number 12 on this one. So they're calling it a feather stitch is what they're calling it, is a feather stitch. Beautiful, decorative, crazy patching quilting. So that is what they're calling the stitch. But I take this stitch and I increase the width of it. And we're going to see. So this goes up to a 0.276. So I'm saying almost a quarter of an inch stitch on there. So we're going to see how that goes. So, but what I do, we're going to have to get rid of this starter stopper on here. Take the starter and stopper off here. So what I do is I take this foot. You can't wait to go back to Texas. Very cool. I was born in Texas, y'all. Thanks for the heart me. Thank you for the heart me. So what I do is, so you have this here, and I take and center the foot right there on the edge of this. So because on this stitch you have a center stitch that goes down the center, and then you have it that goes off to the side. It goes off to the side. So what it does is it goes down the center right there on the edge of that fabric, and then it goes and grabs this piece of fabric, and it grabs this piece of fabric. So you're grabbing the binding and your quilt at the same time. My name is Carrie Ann. I'm a crafter too. Love it. Awesome, Texas. Awesome, awesome. And you spell it the exact same way I do, Miss Carrie. So very cool. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live, y'all. Okay, so we are going to go here. And what we've done is we actually created this quilt this week. We have created this quilt this week, y'all. So again, I'm going to take and center this foot. I'm going to center this foot. And y'all, I used a ice cream thing to keep my clips in. So I'm going to center this foot here. I'm going to drop the foot. And so the center of the stitch goes right there on the edge of your fabric. So we're going to hit start. And it's just going to stitch along. so you can see. I'm going to cut it off here so you can see. And then we'll pull it back in here. So I want you to see. So you can see that it goes right along the edge, okay? It goes right along that edge, and it grabs both sides. Grabs both sides. Good morning. Thank you. So, but on the back, you see where I have the thread the same color as my backing? You really don't see the thread on the back. So that's why I use the same color as the sheet that you have on the back. Good morning, it's Mama Billy. Long time no see. So we're going to go ahead and continue down stitching that down. So I love the stitch. I love the stitch, y'all. So thank you, Bev. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we are going to pull this here. We're going to continue stitching. Continue stitching here. So you just keep it centered. Keep the edge of that, your binding right there on the center of that foot there. That way that one stitch goes down the edge there. And then the other side kind of goes and grabs both pieces of fabric there. Once we get both of these sides done, we'll move to the other side and I'll show you how you get that corner. Because you're going to still have a corner on there. And it's pretty easy, y'all. I promise you it's pretty easy. I call it my Christmas corners. I call it my Christmas corners. And you'll see why I call it my Christmas corners. Variegated thread is really pretty, guys. The variegated thread. We literally use variegated thread all the way through this quilt. So we used it to piece it, and then we used it to quilt it, and now we're using it to do the binding. So gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And Miss Amy, you know what? We're going to finish the binding this morning, so I should be able to ship it to you today. So all right, we're almost to the end here. Then we'll go to the other side. Fun. Okay, so we're going to bring this back this way. Y'all, oh my gosh, check that out. Is that not gorgeous? How gorgeous is that? It just turns out gorgeous. And the back of it, like I said, it kind of stitches down to the fabric, but it's the same color as the fabric. So send me a message. Send me a message and I can give you the information. Send me a message. Okay. So we're going to go over. Why am I? Oh, dadgummit. I pulled the thread out and I'm like, why do I have thread going here? Why do I have thread going here? Hold on. I'm like, why do I put thread? My thread got caught in my quilt. It means my thread got caught in my quilt. Ah! Okay. Stay there. Now I got to rethread the machine. But that's okay because it auto threads. It's an auto threader, y'all. Okay. So now we're going to come down the other side. We're going to come down the other side here. And you just center that foot. Center that foot on that stitch, y'all. Try to keep it centered on the edge of that fabric. Just try and keep it centered on the edge of that fabric there. And just let it go. Let it go. And let your feed dog pull it. Let your feed dog pull it. Try not to pull or push that fabric because your feed dog will do the work. Your machine will do the work for it. You just let it do the work and you're just guiding that fabric, y'all. You're literally just guiding that fabric along. I'm going to stop for a minute. Just guiding. almost to the end here, almost to the end, and then we'll get the other one sewed on. And then I'm going to show you how you do that corner. I will show you how you get the corner on those binding. Okay, so that side's all done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sew the other one. Yeah, 100. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome, Amy. That would be awesome. So, okay, so we now have this one. Guys, it is stitching out. And look, it is stitching out so pretty. Very pretty. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the top and the bottom. We're going to do the top and the bottom. And let me see here. Let me see if I have. We're going to go back to a straight stitch on the machine. Got to go back to a straight stitch on the machine here. So go back over to a 2. Okay. So then I'm going to take, because I don't think, nope, they're not long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew 2 strips together. And then we are going to do this one. I'm excited. I'm excited. This quilt is going to be done. Y'all, we have literally done a quilt in a week. We have literally done a quilt in a week. So. Okay. This right here, you see this? This is why I have a starter and a stopper most of the time. Because if you have that starter and the stopper, you don't get that issue. You don't get that issue. So that is the reason I got a starter and a stopper when I usually see. I forgot to have it on there, and that's what happens if you don't have it on there. So okay, so we're gonna trim off. We're gonna trim off the selvage here. Trim that off. So then we're gonna take and we're gonna fold it down. We're gonna fold that down like this. Okay, take and fold that down. And then we're going to clip it onto the side of your quilt. We're going to clip it on the side of your quilt. Make sure you have a fold there, because that fold is, number 1, going to get rid of your raw edges. Number 2, it's going to give you your corner. And I'm going to show you how you do the corner. If you weren't making the quilt online, how long would it typically take you to make one? I don't know. I can usually do a whole quilt if I'm usually a couple days, usually about 2 days, depending. I mean, if I just sit and stitch, we're going to find out Sunday, because literally I'm going to sit and stitch on Sunday. So I could probably push myself and make it in a day. And that's literally just stitching, just sitting and stitching, y'all. So, and it's usually one of those is an easy quilt to make. So if it was a harder quilt with harder squares, it takes a little longer. So takes a little bit longer on there. So we're going to clip this, clip it. Thank y'all for hanging out this morning. I appreciate it. So we're going to keep clipping here. So we'll get this side all clipped. And then y'all, Christmas corners. Just think about it. I'm calling them Christmas corners. Anybody that has seen me do binding, you've seen how I do it. But just as a hint, you're fixing to see how it is. But Christmas corners. That's how I get my corner. So y'all are fixing to see that one. We're going to get over here to the other side. Doom. Okay, so now you have a corner here. So you want to have a folded edge on this side too. So I'm going to trim. I want to make sure that I have enough here. This one, I make sure I go a little bit wider, probably 1.5 inches on the fold. So then you take here and you fold this one over. That way you just want to make sure you have a fold. So you have a fold here. And then another clip. And then we'll straight stitch across that one. We'll go ahead and go to the other side, get it clipped. Carrie, where are you from? I was born in Texas. And I grew up here in Arizona. So, and we're currently here in Arizona. So, all right. So we're going to grab this one. But my mom was from Texas. My dad was from Louisiana. So needless to say, I probably caught a little from both of them. I caught a little from Texarkana. Very cool. Very cool. My little brother lives in Arizona. Where at in Arizona? Very cool. Where at? I'm smack dab in the middle of the state. I am smack dab in the middle of the state. It is, so it's probably Glendale. He's about an hour and a half from me. Shannon, I grew up down by Tombstone. Down by Tombstone is where I grew up. So that's the easiest one to tell you. So first place I ever went dancing was the Big Nose Kates in the OK Corral. Your dad's in Peoria. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Awesome. I'm in Globe. So yeah, I love Tombstone too. Tombstone is awesome. So Tombstone is awesome. Oh, how cold is it? So it's currently about 30 degrees right now. It is currently about 30 degrees. I think my husband said a high of 54 today. So it's a little chilly, a little bit chilly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the taps, y'all. Thanks for the taps. I appreciate y'all. My husband was born and raised in Buckeye, but I'm from Chicago. How cool is that? Buckeye is a couple hours from me. Very cool. Do you come back here, Shannon? That is cool. You know, it's cool. It's amazing how small of a community it is. You know, you're like all over the United States, but it's amazing how many people you find that are actually from the area or know the area that you're in. It's kind of cool. Very cool, y'all. So anybody that's just joining, we are working on binding a quilt, and I'm fixing to show y'all exactly how you get that corner, how you get the corner in there. You're in Phoenix. Yay! Hi. Welcome. I'll be coming your way tomorrow. I'm going to go to a class at Mole Queens. I'm going to go to a class at Mole Queens in Tempe tomorrow. So I'm excited. I am excited. Very cool. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining this morning. So this week, thanks for the follow. So this week, what have we done? So this week we have literally done the whole process of a quilt. We started piecing that quilt on Monday. We finished piecing that quilt on Tuesday, got it sandwiched. Then we took, after we got it all sandwiched, we took and added, put it into the embroidery machine, and we quilted it on the embroidery machine. We quilted it on, you too, Miss Angelica. You have a great day also. Thanks for joining. And then today we finished quilting it. And then we are now binding it. We are finishing it and getting it binded. So we are going to see. Nikki, we might possibly have time to do a little bit of a walk. We will see. Trim the other side. And y'all are fixing to see the Christmas corners. Because what we'll do is we'll stitch that. So fold and make sure you get your fold. Make sure you get your fold on the edge. You got to get that fold on the edge. Get that in there. Then come over this way. Okay. So now we're just going to do a 1/4 inch seam on here. 1/4 inch seam on this side. And these are the short sides. So this is the short side on here. Take that off there. I have to start and stop a lot more because I'm limited on space on here. So. So once we get this stitched, we'll do the corners. And y'all are going to be excited because you're going to be like, you know what? I can do a quilt with a binding because, you know, longest time I'm like, I don't want to do a quilt because then I got to bind it. And my mother binded my quilts for the longest time. And, you know, and when she passed away, I was like, well, I got to figure out how to bind my quilts because I like quilting and I got to finish my quilts. So needless to say, this is how I figured out how to bind my quilts. And y'all, it's how I bind all my quilts. So it's like Miss Amy said, easy peasy squeezy, or however she said it. So, okay. So get that one trimmed. Let me trim the other, let me stitch the other side, and then I'm going to show y'all how we do this end. I'm going to show you how we do the end here. Get the other side stitched. Get the other side stitched here. Just keep a stitching, just keep a stitching. I decided one of these days I'm going to do a Dory quilt or something, a Dory wall hanging, because I just like her. She's just too much fun. Too much fun, y'all. Okay, almost to the end. Almost to the end here, y'all. Okay, are we ready for the corners? Are we ready to show you the corners? Okay, here we go. Yay, we hit 100K. Awesome, awesome. So you fold the ends, and I am correct. So yeah, so hold on. It's Margaret. It is a embroidery class. She's asking what class I'm taking at Mole Queens. So Anita Good Design. It's an embroidery class with Anita Good Design. So okay, so now we have these corners here, y'all. So I am going to show. So we've done a fold on the other side. So what are we going to do now? So y'all ready? This is why I call them Christmas corners. This is why I call them Christmas corners. So you're going to take this corner and you're going to fold it. Because remember back in the day, your mother's like, you got to make your really nice Christmas corners on those Christmas gifts. Y'all, I'm not the best. I am not the best Christmas gift wrappers. So, but anyway, so you take that corner and you fold and make a triangle. You fold and make a triangle on that. And then you fold it up to that raw edge again. So your seam line. So you're folding that bottom up to your seam line again. Okay. And then once you've folded it up to the seam line, and then you fold it forward. And then when you fold it forward and fold it over, you get your corner, y'all. You get your corner. And then when you get that corner, when you stitch it, you're going to stitch up the corner and then stitch down the side. So again, let me show you again how this works. So you have your binding. You have your folded edge. You can take and make a corner. Make a corner right there. And you can play with it. Play with that corner on how that works, okay? Play with the corner on there. So then once you have that corner, you fold it over the corner, and then you're taking your raw edge of this binding, taking the raw edge of the binding, and you're going up to your seam. You're lining that up with your seam, okay? Lining it up with your seam, and then you're folding it up, okay? Let me show you the other side. I'm going to flip this around so you can see the other side. So hold on, I'm going to fold it there. That way you can see this other side here. So on this side, you see I've got it folded and the raw edge is actually behind where you've got it stitched, on there. So, and here's your corner. So you fold that down, and when you fold that down, y'all see that? You have a corner. You've got a corner there. So then you just take and you stitch down that corner, and then you stitch down this way. Yes. Yes. So that's what we're fixing to do here. So I just want to make sure that you guys can see this, and I'll show you again. Right. I'm telling you, it's the easiest mitered corner yet. So, and it's how wide was your original? 2.5 inches, Miss Ashley, 2.5 inches on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this up to here. So what I'm going to do is to do this. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Irie. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fold this corner. I'm going to fold that corner. I'm going to fold this up here. And this is how easy that I do this, because I just put it on my stomach. I use my stomach as my thing. So I take that here, going up to your seam, folding it up, and then you fold it down, and then you take clips and hold it on the clip. So we're going to take and clip this. I'm just loving this corner. It's a perfect corner, y'all. Oops, I almost dropped it. I'm going to show y'all this perfect corner here. Y'all, hold on. Let me clip it a little bit more down. That way it doesn't come off. That way it doesn't come off. I want y'all to see this perfect corner. I'm excited. Sometimes it's perfect. Sometimes it's not perfect. But y'all, it is the easiest binding you've ever done. Easiest binding, right? I'm telling you. So, and if you want, I mean, y'all, start small. Take a pot holder. Make a pot holder, and bind that pot holder. Just bind that pot holder, and it works out really well. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're so sweet. So, but yeah, just bind that pot holder, and you can see how it works. Y'all, bind a postcard, make a postcard. So, you can do that. So anybody wants to join my class, I have a class in February that I'm teaching. So, and it's on Zoom. It's a 2-day Zoom retreat. So anybody wants to join, shoot me a message. We're doing that abstract. We will be doing abstract. So, okay. Anyways, so let's go down this way. We're going to get this clipped, and let me show you that corner again. I'm going to show you the corner. Y'all, check the corner out. Check out that corner. Is that not cool? Very, very cool. So anyways, all right, Miss Abby, thank you. You have a good day too. Thanks for the follows, y'all. Thanks for the follows. Okay, so let me get this clipped. We're going to get this clipped, and we'll go to the other side. I'll show you the process one more time on the other side, and we'll get it all stitched, and we'll be done. We're going to be done, y'all. I can't believe that we're going to be done. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, y'all. All right. Clipping, clipping, clipping. Just keep clipping. Clipping, clipping, clipping. Right, Jennifer? It's an easy way to do binding. It is a complete easy way to do binding. You use pins, but just inherited the clips. So you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Clips, y'all, how many times have you poked yourself? I need to go get ready for work. Have a great day. All my stuff replays on YT, y'all. All my stuff replays on YT, because I'm actually live on both platforms at the same time. You don't fold on the, I do fold on the both. So Bev, on the first one, I have a fold, but I don't do the corner. I don't do the corner on the first one. So what does the back corner look like? Hold on. Let me show you. Do you want to see? Let me see. Hold on a minute. You want to see what it looks like before it's stitched or after it's stitched, Miss Off Kilter? Oh, you're good, Beth. You're good. Awesome. I'm glad you get to learn things. I am glad you get to learn things. Thanks for the follow, Nikki. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. They said we all have fun stuff. Fun stuff, y'all. Okay. We got one more. So we have this corner here. Either I'm curious about it. Okay. So we have this corner here. So we're going to do the corner here. We're doing that Christmas corner. You're going to do that Christmas corner. Then you take and you fold it up to your stitch line. Fold it up to your stitch line, and then you fold it up, and then you have your binding. So this is the back. This is the back on there, Miss Off Kilter. So what I'll end up doing is I'll actually stitch down this way on the front side. You're very welcome, Anna. You're very welcome. So I'll stitch down this on the front side because now you have that corner on the front side. So, and again, I use the same color of thread as my fabric. I use the same color of thread as my fabric. So you really can't see the stitching on the back side. So, but you do see the stitching on the front side because it's fun colors. So do you hand stitch your binding off kilter? Yeah, she's a phenomenal stitcher also. So because I know there's a lot of people that actually hand bind their quilts, and then some that actually bind it on the machine. So I don't hand bind anything. About the only thing I hand stitch is when I make bears, I'll hand stitch those up. So beyond that, no. I don't enjoy hands. I don't either. I am not a hand stitcher. I don't like to hand stitch. If there's a way to not hand stitch, I don't hand stitch. I don't hand stitch. Okay. So yeah, we are fixing to make our last 2 stitches. Are you excited, Miss Amy? Are you excited? This will be shipping out to her today. So being we finish it today, it will ship out today. It will ship out to Miss Amy today. So Miss Amy is a return customer. I did finish it a day early, Miss Amy. I did finish it a day early, and we'll ship it out today, and you should have it pretty soon. So, okay. So now we're going to go back to D, and then we'll go back to that stitch. We're going to increase that stitch length. And then I'm going to take that. And then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the corner first. Once I go down that corner, I'm going to turn, and then I'm going to stitch up it, okay? So I have this corner here. So you have your corner. You've got your corner here. You want to stitch that corner up because you don't want to have an open seam right there. So we'll stitch that corner first, and then we'll come down, and then we'll stitch up the other side. So we're going to come here. Take that off there. Take that. I'm going to put that there. Turn it this way, and that creates that corner. Let me stop this. I'm going to take that off there and show you. So as you can see, it created your corner. So we now have a corner, your mitered corner. It's your mitered corner. And if you look at the back, here's what the back looks like. Here's what the back looks like. So it's kind of cool, right? Kind of cool. So here's the back. And here's the front. Yeah, make yourself a pot holder and try it out. That's your easiest thing. Make a mug rug, a pot holder, some placemats. Start out small. Start out small and try doing it. So that is your easiest way to do. So, all right. So let's keep going. We're going to get these stitched so we can get these stitched. And just as a reminder, make sure you use, I guess, but I use the same color of thread as whatever the color of the backing fabric is. So because trying to line the front and the back up is like literally impossible, y'all. And I just center this foot on here, and it's called a feather stitch on this one. I think it's a double blanket stitch is actually what it is. So, but they're calling it a feather stitch, which is fine. Whatever they want to call it, I don't care. I just like the stitch. It's literally like my go-to stitch, so. Get it stitched along the edge here. Stop. Stop. once we get this stitched, I will show you the whole quilt, y'all. 4 days. We've done this in 4 days. So in more or less 2, 4, 6, 8 hours. So about 9 hours, because we've gone over today. So we're going to say 9 hours. So we finished this quilt in 9 hours. So that's probably the quickest quilt I've ever done. So once we get to this corner, you know how we went down the one corner on the other side, we're going to come up the corner on this side. So we're going to get to this corner here. And I'm going to stop on this corner. So now I'm going to turn it this way and I'm going to come up that corner. And this closes up that corner, y'all. Closes the corner up. Okay. Trim that off there. Okay, so now we'll do the other side and we'll be done, y'all. That's exciting. That's exciting. We are almost done with this quilt. How exciting is this? Thank you. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate y'all hanging out. This has been a fun day. A fun day, y'all. And y'all, guess what? I forgot we didn't clip the other side. We got to clip the other side. 108K. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so we're folding the corner, folding up to the raw edge, folding over, and clipping. That way we get our corners there, y'all. That way we get our corners. I'm going to go ahead and move through and get it clipped so we can get it stitched. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. And y'all, we had more people on YT than we've ever had. So that is awesome. That is exciting. Exciting. And as a reminder, y'all, anybody interested in the class, please shoot me a message. It's going to be in February on 6th and 7th, a 2-day class. There will be a grand prize of a quilt, and that quilt will be one that you decide the theme and we make the following week. So you'll actually get to see your quilt being made. So if you win that grand prize. So we'll be having tickets and stuff. So the class is going to be an abstract class. So your first day, I'll show you. Your first day, you're actually going to be making a card. You'll be making a card. You'll be making a pot holder. You'll be making mug rugs. And then and maybe placemats. We'll see how it goes. And it's a virtual class. It's a Zoom virtual 2-day class that you're going to do. And then that second day, you're going to take in what you've learned on that first day. You're going to do an abstract quilt. It'll be just a small, either wall hanging or lap quilt, however you want to do. So, but it is a 2-day virtual Zoom class that I'm doing. So if you are interested in it, shoot me a message. I can get you the registration link. You can get registered. Once you're registered, I will send you the flyer that goes with it and your Zoom information and everything. So 6th and 7th, and it'll be an all day. So 2 all-day classes. So it's going to be lots of fun. The 6th and 7th of February, ma'am. The 6th and 7th of February. Giving you plenty of time to plan on that one. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, Cynthia. Getting this clipped. That way we can stitch this one and we'll be done. We will be done. And thanks for all the new followers, y'all. Thanks for all the new followers. Well, nice to meet you, Miss Barb. My name is Carrie. So very nice to meet you. I try to remember everybody's name. I try to remember. So I try, but sometimes I don't end up remembering everybody, but I try. Let's see here. Y'all, Y'all, the corners are turning out gorgeous. The corners are turning off gorgeous. Yeah. All right. And if you send me a message, whatever, I will reply today. So like I said, I'm a director of IT. I run an IT department. So that is my day job. That is my day job. This is my morning fun. This is my morning fun. Yes, bring your fabric and scraps. Like I said, I'll send you a PDF on what you're going to need for the class. So, and the class is not that much. Not that much. So. And it will be on Zoom. So Zoom. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and stitch this final side, y'all. We are doing the final stitch. Woohoo! Woohoo! I'm excited. I'm excited. So, and as a reminder, you come down this corner. You come down that corner and then up the other corner. So we're going to go down this corner. Down this corner. Turn it. Then you're going to come up this side. The nice thing about this machine, even if you have a thicker quilt or something, this one will sew through so many layers, and it has like a fabric thickness sensor on it. It senses how thick that fabric is, so it stitches out really well on there. So. Almost done. Just make sure you remember to keep your foot centered on the edge of that fabric. That way it's grabbing both sides. It's grabbing both sides there, and it stitches right down the middle on there. Look at that. Right there at the end. Oh my gosh, how exciting. How exciting. Are you getting excited, Amy? Your quilt's almost done. It's almost done. I get excited every quilt I make. Oh, that one's my favorite. Nope, that one's my favorite. Nope, that one's my favorite. I don't know. I just love all my quilts. I love quilting, y'all. Quilting is just so much fun. So much fun. And everybody needs a quilt. I just say everybody that doesn't have a quilt needs a quilt. Just saying. So you stop at that corner, and then you turn it and come up that corner again. So you go down the one corner and you come up the other corner. And then it is officially done. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're going to go back this way, and I'm going to hold the quilt up. We're going to come back over that way, and we're going to hold this quilt up. That way everybody can see it. We're going to come this way. I'm going to move y'all over. I'm excited. I'm excited here. Okay. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Ready. Y'all, we've officially finished a quilt in a week. We officially finished a quilt in a week, y'all. How cool is that? How cool is that? Exciting, exciting, exciting. So no, so I'm actually using it's called a feather stitch on the Husqvarna or a double blanket stitch. Look at those stitches. Those are the stitches that I used on the binding. That is what I used on the binding there. So, right? It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Tomorrow, y'all. Tomorrow, we're gonna do a Q&A day. We're gonna do a Q&A day, so y'all can ask questions. I'll see if I can answer those questions for you. I have to get to the valley by 9 o'clock, so I got to make sure that I am off by 6 tomorrow. So, well, 7. No, we can go till 6:30 tomorrow, so we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Awesome, Pearl. You got to try it. Keep hanging out. We'll get you going there. We'll get you going. So, and again, thank y'all all for the new followers. Thanks for hanging out. I am on Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning. And Sunday, y'all. Sunday, I'm probably gonna do an all-dayer because I got another quilt I got to get done by Tuesday. So, and then again, as a reminder, I do have a class coming up in February. If you'd like to join that 2-day retreat, it's a virtual Zoom. It's online. So send me a message. I will give you the information for it. And again, y'all have a wonderful Thursday, and I will see y'all in the morning. Thank you again for joining. Love you guys.